Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome once again, everybody, to Business Credit Radio. Today is September 19th, 2013. Remember that Business Credit Radio is the voice for credit and financial professionals worldwide. We want to thank all of our listeners that have come on board from all over the world, our peers, our friends, and anybody else that is coming on to listen to our show for the first time. Welcome very much. We're glad you're here. My name is Philip Philbin, and I am your host for Business Credit Radio. I want to talk here real quick to our potential call-in people. Our callers, you can dial 347-989-8342. That's 347-989-8342. Now, what happens is when you dial in, you come up on my studio on my screen. I call you out by your area code number, and you come on and you can ask your questions of our guest speaker or myself, however you want to do it. At any rate, we're happy to have you on board, and we're happy to have our sponsor today, which is CMA.
This evening's show is partially brought to you by the Credit Management Association, a proud affiliate of the National Association of Credit Management that has helped business-to-business companies with their credit, collections, and financial decisions since 1883. Contact CMA at www.creditmanagementassociation.org for more details on how CMA can benefit you.
Thank you. Today's guest is Mr. Richard Macias on Business Credit Radio. Warmly welcomes him back. He's an attorney with the law firm of, oh boy, I hope I pronounce this right, Richard, Creme, Macias, Koenig and Frey, LLP, a firm that specializes in creditors' rights. Mr. Macias represents trade manufacturers and financial institutions in litigation involving contract enforcement actions, antitrust, bankruptcy, business transactions, bad faith claims, collections, and dealer terminations. Mr. Macias is a graduate of Harvard Law School in 1975. Prior to entering private practice, he served 3 years as a criminal prosecutor in the law office of the Los Angeles City Attorney, and later was promoted to the special counsel for the city attorney. He was also the associate professor of law at the Loyola Law School in Los Angeles, where he taught courses in litigation procedure, trial practice, and negotiating skills. He has written numerous articles on topics of interest for secured and unsecured creditors. Today's discussion is the Interplanetary Credit Manager. I love it. Welcome back, Richard. Thanks for coming on board again.
Thanks, Phil. That's a very generous introduction. It's good to be with you again.
Well, thank you much. Help us here. How did you come up with the name, the Interplanetary Credit Manager? How does that happen? How does a credit manager become interplanetary?
Well, it was an idea that came up as I was working with a number of different things, one of which is just my general role of being a lawyer for trade creditors. We like to think of ourselves as a firm that just basically functions in one capacity. We represent the people that make things and sell things and distribute things in the United States. And for the most part, my clients are credit managers. And I spent a lot of time dealing with both as lecturing and writing, teaching groups of credit managers, and then also helping my clients understand in a meaningful way what's about to happen to them when they're involved in litigation. And what I find more and more is that not only does the credit manager end up with a portfolio for dealing with accounts receivable and collections and the various issues that might come up in that respect with litigation, but oftentimes it's just because of the extensive experience credit managers mostly have with legal issues. If you've got a company that doesn't have an in-house legal department, very often the portfolio of dealing with outside lawyers falls in the hands of the credit manager. Frankly, the reason is very simple. You've got legal problems, you've got things that need to be done, who are you going to give it to? You're going to give it to the guys that have the personality that they're more likely to make sure that they've dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and things gets done. So I deal with a lot of credit managers, not just on collection cases, but in situations where they're kind of the go-to person on legal issues generally when the company's got to get a lawyer to deal with something, whether it's HR or reporting or internet compliance. And so what I saw was credit managers now have a briefcase that's full of things. They're all over the map. And so it's sort of like the metaphor of being interplanetary came up. And not only that, but now we find we're dealing with international credit and all the issues that go with that. So the job of being a credit manager has become increasingly more complicated than just managing collection calls with deadbeat clients. It's become a much more significant professional role in the business. So that's kind of where it came from.
In the legal galaxy, the structure of the legal system, maybe you can help us with that. What is the structure of the legal system? Maybe our listeners need to know about this because a lot of them don't spend a great deal of time in court. Now, I happen to have. I got 4 decades worth of experience dealing with this type of stuff. So help us out a little bit. What is the structure?
Well, one of the things I found is that the credit managers and people, civilians in general, non-lawyers, oftentimes don't have a basic roadmap for how the legal process works. And from a credit manager standpoint, my own belief is having that roadmap is really, really critical to things like cost containment and managing economic litigation when you've got stuff going out and you're paying bills for it. In the United States, we have a legal structure that really runs down 2 parallel paths. And then they kind of...
Would you like to hear more? This is Phil Philbin, the radio talk show host on Business Credit Radio. This full version is available at www.blogtalkradio.com, or you can go to our website at ccma-llc.com. I'm Phil Philbin for Business Credit Radio, and we'll leave the phone lines open for you.